Anthony William, the medical medium. I think what happens with a lot of people who get chronically sick, chronically ill, they feel like their life is passing them by. And what they're seeing is people out there living their life, doing their thing, hustling and bustling out there on social, living their life on social, showing people what they're doing and what's going on and taking their vacations and everything else. And so they end up thinking, my life is passing me by because I'm sick and I'm unwell and I can't do the things I want to totally do. And it depends on how sick you are. If you're somebody that's really stuck on Mattress Island for a long time and you can just barely function, there's that level of being chronically ill, which is extremely painstakingly difficult. And then there's also people with a lot of different symptoms and they're struggling and they're going to doctor's appointments and they're mentally struggling. They're mentally unwell. They're having emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical struggles. And they feel like they're missing out and they're missing out on this and they're not able to fulfill their lives and do what they want to do, and life is passing them by. They feel like they're in quicksand. I feel like they're in quicksand. I just want anyone who feels that way to know something really, really, really important is that anytime you have invested on being chronically sick, anytime you have invested on being down and out, being in that place in your life where you're down and out, is gonna come back to you tenfold. You're going to make up that time. It's not going to be lost time. It's going to be the opposite. It's going to be on the flip side. It's going to change. I know this. See, I think that when people are really sick, and you might know somebody and you might be struggling yourself right now, it feels impossible to get to that finish line, or it feels impossible to get to that place that you want to be. But you're going to get there. And when you do, you're going to get things done. You're going to move forward fast. It's going to click into gear. You're going to look back and you're going to remember being sick, but you're going to forget being sick. You're going to remember it because it's unforgettable, but at the same time, you're going to forget about it. It's going to be this very, very interesting new part of your life. You're going to remember it. You're going to have that imprint. You're going to understand what it's like to be that sick. You're going to understand what it's like to have those symptoms. But man, when you come out of it and you start moving forward and you come out of that, the feelings are going to take over. And you're going to remember being sick because you're going to be telling that story to other people. You're going to be that beacon of light. You're going to know what it's like. You're going to be seasoned. You're going to know what you've been through. You spiritually grew. Your soul evolved even more and more and is holding all that information of what you went through. You're wise beyond your years. And in this lifetime, so much has been gleaned and so much has been learned and so much has been healed. And so when you get past that and you're coming out of it and you're coming out of the woods and you're moving into that field of sunlight and you're getting to that field of grass in sunlight, you're going to forget what it's like, but yet you're not. What I'm saying is you're going to be living your life and you're going to be moving forward. Sure, you're going to remember what happened. You're going to remember what you've been through. You're going to see somebody else sick out there and you're going to be like, I know what that's like. I've been through that. I've been through hell and back. I rose out of that and I'm here. But at the same time, you're going to be moving and grooving. You're going to be moving forward. You're going to be living your life. And you're going to accomplish more than you would have if you never got sick before. That's what I want to say. Spirit of Compassion has always told me this all these years, that people who recover after being sick for a long time end up doing more than they would have if they weren't sick. That means if you had this life where you weren't sick and never sick before and you were just living your life and going about your thing and at the pace you're going at naturally or however it was happening, that you being sick and getting sick with chronic illness slowed you down for those years, kept you back for those years, but when you got out of it and you get out of it and you move forward, you're going to double time it. Doesn't mean you're going to be hustling like never before. It's naturally just going to happen where you're going to accomplish more in your life in the future years. It's going to supersede what you lost. It's going to supersede what you lost. Time, energy, all of it. You're going to get things done. Keep that in mind. So if you're sick and you feel like you're missing out and you're chronically sick and you're struggling and you feel like that you've completely missed out in any way possible and other people are living their lives and you see it on social media every day, keep in mind you're going to get more done after your recovery than you would have if you weren't ever sick. It's coming. It's going to happen. And you're going to be stronger. You're going to be wiser. You're going to be healthier, mind and body, and spiritually strong. Another thing too, when you deal with chronic illness and you deal with sickness, if you really are, and people in the medical meme community really are, they really were sick. They got sick and then they healed, or they still are sick and struggling and they're working on that process. Keep in mind the spiritual growth that happens, the spiritual wisdom that happens. Keep in mind all that's happening. There's people out there, and I hate to say it, and they see chronically ill people out there, they hear the symptoms and they hear what they're going through. They don't quite understand it, but they start mimicking or parroting those symptoms as if they were that sick. And I'm noticing that on social, that the reason why I notice it is because Spirit of Compassion will tell me, well, that person's really not that sick. I'm talking about outside of the medical medium communities. And you'll see a person out there they're saying the right things. I had this, I had that, I went this, I did that. Buy my product or buy my thing or do my thing. And I had this wrong with me and that wrong with me. And they're saying all the right stuff, all the right key points. And then Spirit of Compassion tells me they really weren't even that sick. They're just kind of mimicking and parroting the chronically ill, taking key notes and key words and then using it for what they need to use it for. That's happening right now. I notice there's a lot of games being played out there. But the people in the medical meme community, they really were sick and did their healing and healed. They really were struggling and their lives were saved. And if they are still struggling now, or they just got to the communities and they're in the process of healing, keep in mind you're going to get things done. You're not missing out on life. It may feel like that for now, and you may feel like you're in quicksand. You may feel like that you're stuck for now in your life because you just spent 5 years sick, then you found the medical medium community and the information. Keep in mind, when you're at a certain point of your healing process, you're going to get past all that, and you're going to make that time up, and then more than that, and more than that. I just wanted to let everybody know. Anyway, I'm proud of everybody. And remember that your body knows you're working on your healing process, and your body is very happy you're doing the things you're doing for it every day. Your immune system is working for you. Your body's working for you. And you're going to move forward, and you're going to heal. Every day, keep that in mind. You're healing every day, every hour, every single morning you wake up. You healed a little bit more, and then it starts to show. One thing about healing, I'll tell you right now, is you could be healing, but it doesn't show yet. Your body's healing the problems, and it doesn't show yet. I mean, I won't go into all the details right now and bore you guys about neurotoxins and viruses and how they work and what happens in that process of the nervous system being injured, and then you heal, but your nervous system takes longer to heal afterwards. So you can be somebody that's been sick for years. You've been sick with viruses and metals, highly toxic, and your immune system's been totally trashed. And your adrenals are totally trashed, your immune system's totally trashed, and you're really suffering, and you're struggling in your nervous system. Your vagus nerves are all out of sync. Everything's inflamed. Everything's off. And then you start healing with the right information, and you're moving forward with the medical medium information. You're doing it, and what's happening is you're killing off all your bugs. You're killing off all your viruses. You're cleaning up neurotoxins, and then you're left, after a while, you're left with a sensitive central nervous system that went through hell. You can already be almost completely healed and not feel it yet. And then the restoration time happens and clicks in. And that's when the central nervous system starts to heal and mend. And that's when you're like, oh my God, I'm actually healing. I'm actually healing. And that miracle kicks in, and you're like, oh my God, this is really happening, and you move forward. And that's how the healing process works for a lot of people with neurological problems, and a great deal of people are in the medical medium communities with neurological problems. Anyway, just know I got your back, and I care about all you guys, and I believe in you, and I know you can heal, and I know you're healing. Love you much.